Reverend Berkey and other members of the congregation that I talked to said that by not being an open and affirming church and not accepting everyone, we would be going directly against what the Bible said about loving God and your neighbor. Reverend Berkey told me that because Christianity is one of the loudest voices of oppression, it is important to her to make sure it's known that we love anyone of any identity. Simply put, it's the good and faithful thing to do. Once I told her that I identify as gay, she asked me how long I've known and about my coming out process. I told her that I've known I was attracted to girls before I even knew there was a term for it. In a way, everyone has a coming out experience. Maybe not in the context that coming out is usually used in, but everyone has had an experience like it. Think about your past, your present, or even your future. Think about a time in your life that you've had something really important that you needed to tell someone, but you were afraid of the reaction that you would receive. The time where you had to build up as much courage as you could to reveal a huge secret, where the consequences were unknown. So you had to prepare yourself for all of the possible outcomes. Whether it be failing grades, a pregnancy, a new relationship, an engagement, skeletons in your closet, or being gay, you've all come out at some point in your life. I have been blessed to have the best, most supportive and understanding parents that anyone could ask for. With all that being said, coming out to important people is never easy. No matter how supportive and understanding they are, the first person I came out to was my younger brother. Every year we go camping, and with no TV or electronics, what else are siblings going to do besides have heartfelt conversations? So probably around 11 at night, in our really thin tent, surrounded by a ton of other really thin tents, I tell my brother my biggest secret and wait for his response. In true Michael-like fashion, he says, "Okay, I still love you, but can you tell me again in the morning so I know that I wasn't dreaming?" Of course, we burst out laughing, and then we hear, "Beth, Michael, be quiet and go to sleep." When I came out to my mom, I remember as she started crying, which of course in turn made me start crying too. She told me she had thought I was gay for a few years, but hearing it said out loud and having it become a true reality was what caused her reaction. She started crying because she realized that her fear of me having a harder life, of having to face more obstacles and hardships in my life, was coming true. Her second biggest reason for her reaction was because she wasn't going to get to see me in a wedding dress. I, of course, tried to defuse the situation with a joke, challenging her to see who knew I was gay the longest. Of course I won. Shocker. I came out to my father about 5 minutes later, and his reaction was, "I don't believe you. How can you know you're gay if you've never been in a relationship?" To which I fired back, "How do you know you're not gay if you've never been in a relationship with a guy?" He tried to argue with me that, "It's different. Sorry, Pops, it's the same thing." Not to worry, though. He believes me now, and both of them are completely supportive of me, and they each try and find me girlfriends at times. There's been about one time in my life that I can remember that I've really been discriminated against. Last year during my internship, I was working for a woman who basically failed me on my evaluation. I was shocked and I couldn't explain what happened. A few weeks later, I was talking to my mom, and she said her and my professor agreed that they think I failed because I was being discriminated against. I, of course, start freaking out and ranting about how she bombed my evaluation just because she was discriminating against me. How you would think she was above that because she worked with children with autism every day, and how it's so unfair of her to treat me differently from everyone else simply because I'm Asian. It was my mother who had to tell me that I was most likely being discriminated against because I was gay, not because I was Asian. I have been lucky and have faced very few hardships due to my sexual orientation and appearance. But that's not the case for everyone, or even the majority of people. My coming out experience wasn't bad. I'm surrounded by tons of people who love me and support me, but there are many teens, adolescents, and adults who have to face coming out without the support system. There are so many negative ways that parents, families, and key people in someone's lives can react to someone coming out. And unfortunately, many people still experience these types of reactions. Adolescents are still getting kicked out of their houses, being physically or mentally abused, losing close relationships with their parents, and being ignored, and so much more. I have seen and heard about many of these incidences. It's heartbreaking and so upsetting that these things are still happening. I have known many people who have come out, and their parents treat them different, or tell them there's something wrong with them, or preach the Bible to them, or start ignoring them, or their identity as being a gay person. I have seen this wreak havoc on their lives. When adolescents receive reactions like this, it further confuses them. It creates conflict between wanting to be themselves and wanting to please their family. Those that are brought up with a strong religious background that believes being gay to be a sin also creates further confusion, because what they're feeling inside goes directly against what they are taught to believe while growing up. These types of things make adolescents continuously go in and out of the proverbial closet, continuously question themselves and what they want, and create so much mental turmoil that many times leads to depression, anxiety, and sometimes even suicide. I can't pretend that I know what it's like for those that go through these experiences, but I can say that I give them so much credit, and they're probably some of the strongest people that I know, because I don't know what I would have done if I had to face some of these experiences. Although I wish that everyone's situation could be like mine, being comfortable with myself, being out and proud, and not caring, I know that that's not possible. No matter what their situation, everyone has their own reason for not coming out. Whether it be that they're not ready to, they don't feel the need to, they don't know who they are yet, or they're not in a safe environment, all are valid and respectable reasons. And whatever their reason is, their safety and health should always be the priority. If people in our lives can't accept us for who we are, as we are, then how are we supposed to accept ourselves? Every time I hear one of these experiences, or meet someone going through something like this, it reminds me of how lucky and thankful I am to be surrounded by people that love and support me. I don't have to be afraid to go home every day, and I don't have to be afraid to be myself. It reminds me of how lucky I am that I could be standing here in a house of God, surrounded by all of you, and not be afraid of speaking these words, or worry that any of you will pass judgment on me or be excommunicated. Being a part of First Church, or any opening and affirming church for that matter, is such a privilege that not many people get to experience, but it's a privilege that so many more should be able to experience and benefit from.